Shop, but don't commoditize. What I mean by this is that it's very important to shop around to make sure that you're getting a reasonable deal, but the cheapest is not always best. This is especially true in the mortgage industry. Buying a house is a very stressful time for a lot of people, and it's super important to work with a mortgage loan officer who is knowledgeable, efficient, quick, and who answers the phone. Somebody who provides good service, somebody who can take as much stress away from the process as possible. But this doesn't just apply to mortgages, this applies to almost anything in life. I like to think of back in 2013, 2014, after Lindsay and I had gotten engaged and we were planning our wedding. We got engaged July 2013, we were excited, ready to get married, and at that time we were shopping around for wedding venues. The first place that we looked at was La Villa in Cleveland because it seemed like a nice enough venue. It was very close to our apartment at the time, and we figured that the cost would be low because of the area that it was in. So we go to look at La Villa, and it's nice enough, and the guy quoted the price, and it was way higher than we had imagined it was going to be. So Lindsay and I both looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we're gonna have to adjust this wedding budget or push the date back or something. When we got home, we talked about it some more and decided that we would check out some other venues, thinking that La Villa was probably going to be the cheapest, but it wouldn't hurt to look, right? So we checked out another place in Northfield called Gambita's, and Gambita's price was half of La Villa, and we thought, wow, this is great. Maybe we don't have to stretch our budget after all. But with Gambita's, we had to set everything up. We had to tear everything down. We were responsible for a lot of the food, and we were responsible for a lot of the other things that other venues would take care of. But it was in our budget, so we figured, yeah, we're probably going to go this direction. There was one other place. It was Lindsay and I's best case scenario dream wedding location. It was a venue called Michaud's in Strongsville. And we figured Michaud's was going to be way too expensive, probably more expensive than La Villa, and there's no way we were going to be able to afford it. But Lindsay said, let's just check it out anyways. It's not far away, and the worst case scenario is we stick with Gambita's. So I was like, okay, so we went to Michaud's the next weekend, and it was perfect. The venue was beautiful. They took care of everything for us. Basically, we need to show up, get married, and that's all we have to worry about. They would take care of the rest. So we sat in the manager's office because it was time to talk about pricing. And when she passed the pricing flyer over to us, I took a deep breath, looked at it, and couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was so much less expensive than the villa, and it was only a little bit more expensive than Gambita's, but it was so totally worth it. We ended up getting married at Michaud's. It was wonderful. They took care of everything, and I don't miss the extra $1,500 that we spent. What I do remember is having a great wedding, and even when I broke the chandelier at Michaud's, they said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. You're good. And that was that. I'm so happy that we paid a little bit of extra money over the cheapest option to get the perfect option. See, getting married or taking out a mortgage is not a commodity. Filling up your car with gasoline, that's a commodity. The gasoline's going to perform the same whether you get it from Exxon or BP or Shell or wherever. Your car's going to run the same, but that's just not the case with other things in life. Back to mortgages, my rates are very, very competitive. I will happily go toe-to-toe versus any other lender here in town, and I'm confident that I'm going to have the best rates and the lowest fees. But there are always going to be lenders out there who are cheaper than me. Yeah, I'm not always going to be the cheapest, and in fact, I'm never going to be the cheapest. And if cost is the only thing that matters to you after watching this video, and you don't care about service, you don't care about closing on time, and you don't care about the lender being local, I can tell you the cheapest cats in town are going to be Amerisave and Provident Funding, Better.com if they're even still in business. Those guys are going to be less expensive than me, but at what cost? So in conclusion, whether it's your mortgage, your wedding facility, or almost anything else in life, shop, Make sure that you're getting a reasonable deal, but don't commoditize. I may be an eighth to a quarter% in rate than higher than these discount online lenders, and that equals what, $35, $45 a month? For $40 a month, isn't it worth having peace of mind and going through the home buying process with as little stress as possible? And realistically, it's not that that's $40 a month for 30 years. People will typically stay in their house for 7 years, so you're paying an extra $40 a month or less for 7 years to make sure that you're getting the best mortgage and the best service possible.